Welcome, students. Today we'll be discussing how to convert metric units of length. It's the start of our chapter 7.1, all about measurement. So here's some of the basics. Please record this on your notes, and again, if I'm going too fast for you, pause or rewind as necessary. What is length? Sit there and think about that for a moment. Length is the measurement from end to end. It could be an object, it could be a distance, it could be your height, it could be the measurement of the length of an object. It could be from one city to another. That is length. There's different ways to measure. There's customary and metric. You're used to customary measurements such as inches, feet, yards, and miles. However, metric's a little bit different. So what are the main metric units of length? Please record these on your note sheet. They are the kilometer, meter, centimeter, and millimeter. In class, we'll be discussing these lengths and doing some experiments to understand how big these truly are, since you're not particularly familiar with them. Well, mathematicians don't like to write a lot, especially when it comes to letters, and more so on numbers, so they've created abbreviations for these to make them easier to write. Please record these in your notes. A kilometer is a km, a meter is an m, a centimeter is a cm, and a millimeter is mm. Notice there are no periods, that's important, and they are lowercase letters. That is also important. So when we're converting, does the length really change? This is a great question. Think about your height. You might be 5 feet tall. So if I converted your 5 feet to inches, that'd be 60 inches. Did your height really change? You went from 5 to 60. That's a big jump in numbers. So did you change height? The answer is no. Your length or height in this case doesn't change. It's just the number and label. And when you need to convert units of measurement, sometimes to do math problems or to compare different things. Here's the main conversions, and please record these. 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. 1 meter is 100 centimeters. 1 meter is also 1,000 millimeters, and 1 centimeter equals 10 millimeters. In this conversion chart, the bigger units on the left side, that's crucial, that's important. You need to understand that. You need 1,000 of these meters, 1,000 meter sticks, or meter sticks are close to yardsticks if you can think of that. 1,000 of them just to get 1 kilometer. So these are a kilometer is way bigger than a meter. Also, think about that meter stick. 100 centimeters is 1 meter stick. These numbers right here on the meter stick that you're going to see in class tomorrow, those are centimeters. A millimeter is one of these really, really, really thin lines. I'm going to tell you tomorrow. It's about the thickness of your fingernail. So when you look at this conversion units, these are the bigger units. These are the smaller units. That's important when we get to converting. So how are you going to convert? These are two pictures of my daughter. It's pretty simple when you think about it. And after a while, you'll not need some of these steps that I teach you. You'll start to understand it better with some practice. So here's a problem. How many meters are in 4 kilometers? We need to convert from kilometers to meters. So how do you do that? You set up an equation. What do you know? You know that you have 4 kilometers. What don't you know is how many meters that is. So go back to your chart that you have in your note sheet. Which is the bigger unit? Think about it. There's 1,000 meters in 1 kilometer. So a kilometer is the bigger unit, and the meter is the smaller unit. Then use your arms. You know the bigger unit. Get your arms out real wide. You're going to a smaller unit. Crunch them up real small. Make yourself real small. Now notice my daughter. She crossed her arms. Cross your arms to make yourself really small. You should look like a multiplication symbol. Oh, I wonder why. Let's take a look. Let's try it. How many meters are in 4 kilometers? You know the 4 kilometers. How many meters is it? Go back to your conversion unit. Kilometers is bigger. Get your arms out real wide. You know the big. And come all really small to the small, the meters. Cross your arms. You're going to multiply. You know that you have 4 kilometers. You're multiplying by conversion chart. There's 1,000 meters in a kilometer. You're going to do 4 times 1,000. Write this down in your note sheet. 4 times. Then your conversion sheet, if you haven't memorized it yet or you don't know it, there's 1,000 meters in a kilometer. Type that in your calculator. 4 times 1,000, or you shouldn't need a calculator in this case, is 4,000 meters. What about if we go the other way, though? Here's an example problem. How many meters in 500 centimeters? like I told you before, you're going to set up your equation just like this. You have 500 centimeters. How many meters is that? And this is important. We got to know which one's the big and which one's the small. In this case, centimeters is smaller than meters. Take a look at your conversion chart. 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. You need 100 of these centimeters just to get 1 meter. So centimeters are much smaller. So, again, use your arms. You know the small. Get really small like my daughter did here. Cross your arms, okay? You got to get to a big. Now get really wide and big. I love how my daughter did this picture for a division symbol. You're going from a small to a big. She looks like a division symbol. She has her arms straight across. Imagine her head is one dot and her belly button's the other dot. She looks just like a division symbol. You should too right now. So let's try it. How many meters are in 500 centimeters? Set up your equation. 500 centimeters equals how many meters? You know the small. Get really small. You want to know what the big is. Get really big. Get your arms out real wide. You should look like a division symbol. You went from a small to big. You're going to divide the 500. Record this in your note sheet by 100 to get your answer of 5 meters. So let's try a couple practice problems before we finish up here for homework tonight, and we'll practice a lot more tomorrow in class. Take a look at your note sheet. We have 7 kilometers equals how many meters? I want you to pause and try this on your own with some of the steps you've just learned. Please cover your note sheet, or go back and refer to your note sheet. And when you're ready, or if you get stuck, unpause to check to see how to do the problem. Go ahead and pause right now. So 1 kilometer equals 1,000 meters. The first thing I need to do is go ahead and check my conversion chart, and that's what my conversion chart says. I need to now know that I have a big unit. I know that kilometers is bigger than meters because I need 1,000 of these meters to equal 1 kilometer. So I'm going from the big that I know to a small. Big, get my arms out wide. Small, get them real small. I'm going to multiply. So go ahead and write 7 times 1,000 equals 7,000. And this last part, you can just write the answer right in here, 7,000 meters, but I typed it out below for you. 7 kilometers equals 7,000 meters. Let's try the next one. 800 millimeters equals how many centimeters? Go ahead and pause the video and try this one on your own. Take a look. 1 centimeter equals 10 millimeters. My first thing I need to do is go to that conversion chart if I don't know which one's small and I don't know which one's big. Again, on the left side, this is the big. Centimeters is big. Millimeters is small. I've gone from a big to a small. So I'm going to get I'm going from a big to a small. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm getting myself confused here. I know the small. Excuse me on that one. I know the small is 800 millimeters. I know the small, the millimeters. I don't know the big, centimeters. So I'm going small to big. So get yourself really small and then get really big because I'm going from a small that I know to a big. Small to big is divide. You should look like a division symbol if you have your arms out wide. So go ahead and divide 800 by 10 and you'll get 80. Therefore, you can just go ahead and record 80 up here. 800 divided by 10 is 80, or write it out. 800 millimeters equals 80 centimeters. I hope this helped. Again, write down any questions you might have and be ready to answer some questions tomorrow in class.